Om. Om. Sadashiv Samarambham
सदाशिवसमारम्भाम्
Shankaracharya Madhyamam
शङ्कराचार्यमध्यमाम्
Asmadacharya Paryantam
अस्मदाचार्यपर्यन्ताम्
Vande Guru Paramparam
वन्दे गुरुपरम्पराम्
Vasudeva Sutam Devam
वसुदैव सुखं देवम्
Kansa Chanuramardanam
संसचारूणमर्दनम्
Devaki Paramanandam
देवकी परमानन्दम्
Krishnam Vande Jagadgurum.
कृष्णं वन्दे जगद्गुरु
Shreyo hi jnanam abhyasat
श्रेयो हि ज्ञानम् अभ्यासा
ज्ञानाध्यानम विशिष्यते
ज्ञानाध्यानम् विशिष्यते
ध्यानात् कर्म फल त्यागः
ज्ञानात् कर्मफलस्त्यागः
त्यागात् शांति अनंतरम.
त्यागः शान्ति अनन्तरम्
Now we'll say the prayer which Arjun said, and the prayer means he's expressing himself, and because the Bhagavad Gita is Upanishad, you can make an inquiry into Bhagavad Gita and Bhagwan. So that's what he said. So we say the same shlok. That is our prayer also, or our inquiry also to Bhagwan. So Arjun is confused, so he wants the answer, right? कार्पण्य दोषो उपहत स्वभावः
कार्पण्यदोषोपहस्वभावः
प्रच्छामि त्वाम धर्म सम्मूढ़ चेता. Yeah, this is a seventh sloka of second chapter. प्रच्छामि त्वाम धर्म सम्मूढ़ चेता यत् श्रेयस्यात् निश्चितं ब्रूहि तन्मे शिष्यस्ते अहम शाधिमां त्वाम प्रपन्नम. So Arjuna is saying that Bhagwan Karpanya dosh is I have like emotional weakness. Upahat swabhav, so emotional weakness. And he is saying Prachami Tvam Dharma Sammud. I'm confused about my dharma, my duty, the right choice. So he says Shishyasteham Shadimam Tvam Prapanna. I surrender to you. I am your Shishya. Shishya means who is ready to take the seek, the teaching. Yat Shreyas Syat Nishchitam Bruhitanme. Tell me what is Shreyas for me. And we all know Shreyas means what is good for greater good, not just. Otherwise, Arjun पूछ सकता था मेरे लिए क्या अच्छा है. So he says Shreyas जो सबके लिए अच्छा है, you tell me. And that's where that Arjun's inquiry, Arjun's prayer is, and answering that the entire Bhagavad Gita comes from Bhagwan's mouth. So that's what we say that Shlok. I mean, I say this multiple times during the day, but that's part of my Sandhya Vandan. So we should say that, right? So we are on sixth chapter, and sixth chapter is titled in some of the book as Atma Sanyam Yoga, and some of the book it says Dhyana Yoga. I prefer Atma Sanyam Yoga because it tells about some action to be taken by me, by when the person who is studying this chapter or this teaching. And Dhyan Yoga is the ultimate. We have to implement that teaching. So that is Dhyan. So let's assume it is Atma Sanyam Yoga, yoga of self-control in English. So last time we stopped at 35th shlok, 34, because Arjun, after listening, Bhagwan, in this chapter we saw in the beginning, Bhagwan, basically the purpose of this chapter was to tell him to practice something. Because up to fifth chapter, it is all the knowledge about karma and gyan. But the sixth chapter where Bhagwan is saying we have to do something, we have to implement this, and that's the practice. So we whatever dhyan we do, meditation, it comes from this chapter, Shlok 11 to 15. But once Bhagwan told Arjun how to do dhyan, and then the result of the dhyan is that you will have a samadrashti, which he has already talked in the fifth chapter also. And that is one goal, right? Samadrashti means I should be able to see everyone with equal eye. How I'll see with everyone with equal eye? My drashti has to be clean. If I am putting glasses which are blue color, then I'll see the world as blue. If I have glasses which are red color, then I'll see the world as red. So it is not the world is red, it is my glasses. My drashti is red. That's why I see the world. So Bhagavan says, no, you have to have a clear drashti, no discrimination. And that is called samadrashti. So the result of that dhyan, that Atma Sanyam practice is कुछ नहीं होना, इतना ही होना है कि हमारी दृष्टि क्लियर हो जाएगी. That's it. And nothing else will is going to happen. So that's what. So Arjun ने जब भगवान ने बताया तो Arjun said, I understand कि this practice is good and it will do that. But his question was that, that is 34th shlok. We'll just repeat it. 6th chapter, 34th shlok. So after listening that this practice is good, dhyan is good, Arjun said, I understand dhyan is good. But so 34th shlok, Arjun says, Chanchalam himana krishna
Chanchalam Tina Krishna
pramati balavadranam
Pramati Balavatkradam
tasya aham nigraham manye
Tasyaham Nigraham Manye
vayur iv sudushkaram.
Vayo Rivasudrishkaram. क्योंकि हे श्री कृष्ण, यह मन बड़ा चंचल, प्रमथम स्वभाव वाला, बड़ा दृढ़ और बलवान है, इसलिए उसका वश में करना वायु को रोकने की भांति अत्यंत दुष्कर मानता हूं.
The mind, verily, O Krishna, is restless, turbulent, strong, and obstinate. I consider it as difficult to control as the wind.
Yeah, so, and this is not only Arjun's problem. This is everybody's problem. We all have the same problem. Mind is so like Vayu, and that's why we're talking about the weather. Weather is, you can't control. The barrel is coming, tornado is coming. So that Vayu which we breathe, that's a life give to us. But if Vayu is uncontrollable, it becomes hurricane, it becomes tornado. So same thing is Man. He's comparing Man like that. And we all know that Man is like that. Till today, that question at the end is very related to this. So Arjun says, I got your teaching, I did the dhyan, the practice you told me. But Arjun ko laga hoga ki, I mean, he must have done this in his life. That is so difficult. And that's why I always say that in mandir mein jab hum jate hain, to there are hundreds and thousands of people who are dancing and bhajan and gyana और गाना और सब होता है बातचीत. लेकिन अगर if you tell people कि can we do 10 minutes of just silence, it is tough. अगर ऐसा होगा तो लोग उस मंदिर में जाना बंद कर देंगे, यार ये मंदिर गड़बड़ है यहाँ, ये कुछ गड़बड़. बट दैट इज द पर्पस ऑफ गोइंग टू मंदिर, कि मन को कैसे संयमित करें. ये जो मेथड्स सब बनाई थी, दीज आर एलिमेंट्री स्टेज मेथड्स. पूजा है, आरती है, ये, लेकिन हम उसी में उलझ करेंगे. वी आई डोंट वांट टू गो टू मिडिल स्कूल. आई एंजॉय एलिमेंट्री स्कूल. उसमें गेम वेम होते हैं, ब्लॉक्स वॉक्स होते हैं, राइम्स होती हैं, एंड देन आई एम हैप्पी. लंच होता है एंड दैट्स इट, गो होम. सो वी डोंट वांट टू ग्रेजुएट. We want to just be elementary school, तो मजा मजा खाओ पियो, and then that's that. And so that's the problem. And that Arjun has realized that because man, it's a maturity. I mean, man तो सबका ऐसा ही रहता है, लेकिन by doing sadhana it will mature, and then it will control. means कुछ control नहीं करना है. There is nothing to be controlled. It is man का nature is not turbulent, but because of the interaction with outside world, it becomes turbulent. Because outside world is turbulent, impermanent. Outside world is changing. So the example given in our Shastra, that mirror is clean. If you are dancing in front of mirror is not dancing. You are dancing, but you see that there is a dance going in the mirror. But if you move, then mirror is just like plain. So mind is like that. But somebody is dancing in front of mind. The mind is dancing. We feel that. तो ये पूरी दुनिया हमें नचाती है और हम नाचते हैं. हमारा मन नाचता है. So that's what Bhagavan is saying. Man ka, and that's the example given. Man should, a yogi ka man jo hai, yogi means the original man is like that. All of us. It is like the flame which is not flickering in the absence of vibe or the air. That flame. That shlok was yatha dipo nivatasto. That upma given that. So that's what Arjun's question. So now let's see Bhagwan's answer. And Bhagwan's answer is the teaching. So 35th shlok, where Bhagwan is answering. Hopefully we'll complete 6 chapters by next week. Shri Bhagwan uvacha
Sri Bhagwan Uvacha
asanshayam asanshayam mahabaho
Asanshayam Mahabaho
manodur nigraham chalam
Manodrinugraham Chalam
abhyasentu kaunteya
Abhyasena tu Kanteya
vairagyena cha grahyate.
Vairagyena Chugayate. श्री भगवान बोले, हे महाबाहो, निसंदेह मन चंचल और कठिनता से वश में होने वाला है, परंतु हे कुंती पुत्र अर्जुन, यह अभ्यास और वैराग्य से वश में होता है.
Blessed Bhagwan said, doubtless the mind is restless and difficult to control, O Mahabhao, but it can be controlled by practice and dispassion, O Kaunteya.
Yeah. So if you read this translation, it's very simple. I mean, there are two things, but we can spend the entire life doing two things, these two things. People have spent, according to the yogis who are elevated people, they say, Buddha ne bola tha jab, when he got in, he said, I have many previous birth, I had done this sadhana. He could go to his previous birth, and he said, I had done in many birth, then this birth I got this enlightenment. So, ये दो चीज है. We करते हुए, we can do the entire. It looks very simple. So abhyas means it's not just practice. We should say abhyas with vivek. Vivek means the power of discrimination. That's why when we say the shlok, shreyo hi jnanam abhyasat jnanat dhyanam vishishyate. Abhyas se better है ज्ञान. Means abhyas to karna hai, but knowing what I am doing, and that is vivek. The discrimination that what I am doing, right? It's the story goes like this, that there was a teacher, he told his students that in whatever place they have, there was a water shortage or something, he said, if you dig 100 feet, you will get water. So wo jo student the 2-3 unhone kaha, theek hai, 100 feet, but it is not easy to dig 200, but there was not like machine, manually they're doing. So they said, teacher said 100 feet. So there were 10 of them. He said, each one of us, if we do 10 feet, there'll be 100 feet, right? So let's do each one of dig 10 feet, there is a drill or a hole. And they did it, and water didn't come. So teacher said, what happened? He said, you said 100 feet of water, we had to dig 100 feet. Oh, you have spent enough time, 100 feet, but 100 feet at one place, right? So practice is not just कि अब जैसे गीता में लिखा है कि ध्यान करो तो बैठ के ध्यान, अब you will see that गीता में क्या लिखा है. So गीता कैसे ध्यान करने को होती है, गीता में भगवान ने बताया है. So it is the repeated inner and outer efforts to develop healthy habits to achieve tranquility of mind. That's the goal. Tranquility means mind is not moving. So first thing, Bhagavan says, yes, it can be done, but by the practice repeated. Repeated practice means repeat, right? Again and again. By developing some healthy habits. Mind is, and we all know that, I'm not saying anything new. It's a science, right? The people who read neuroscience and it's a very simple science, mind is nothing but the thoughts in mind are nothing but basically a little bit of our habits, right? Thoughts and habits are same thing. I have a habit, then there is a thought. That's a thought, right? So mind is moving around, always going here and there. So it is not tranquil, it is not shant, which is कहते हैं शांत मन. So Bhagavan can practice repeated. And then second part, Bhagavan says, but only practice will not help. You have to have certain understanding also, certain endurance, certain inner strength, which is Vairagya, the dispassion. So Vairagya is what? Disengaging the mind from internal and external temptations. We are all tempted to अभी नया मॉडल कुछ आया तो चलो नया लेते हैं, या कोई नई चीज आई तो that's mind's nature is that to get tempted towards something and disengaging the mind. I will do this when I want it. That is, Vairagya means nothing. See, again, Krishna, Bhagwan Krishna ka Vairagya is, if you, Vairagya means, people think Vairagya means सब कुछ छोड़ के चले गए. ये कृष्ण बोल रहे हैं, जिन्होंने कुछ नहीं छोड़ा. He is saying that. So his Vairagya is very clear, balanced lifestyle. So disengaging mind from internal, external temptations. What is required, I do, but I don't get tempted by it. So these two things, but Bhagwan ne दो चीज बोली, but there are other, if you read other Vedantic literature, there are 4 things. Gita में भी 4 things. The third is Shraddha. The entire chapter is there. 17 chapter, Shraddha. पूरा इस chapter में भी last श्लोक में भगवान बोलेंगे कि जिसको श्रद्धा है उसी को ध्यान हो सकता है. तो and Shraddha की definition we all know that Shraddha means, loosely we translate faith, very loose English translation, but Shraddha की definition है शास्त्रस्य गुरु वाक्यस्य अवधारणा सा श्रद्धा. That means the avadharana means the intense trust, that conviction or confidence in shastrasya and guru vakyasya. So what shastra says, shastra is a spiritual text or literature which is composed by enlightened people, and guru vakyas. So guru vakyas means who is your mentor or guide. Full conviction in their saying is shraddha. And another definition is Shatadha. Shat means truth, Dha means upholding. The power, the inner strength to uphold the truth is Shraddha. So truth is Bhagwan. So having that conviction in Bhagwan or Satya is Shraddha. So Bhagwan says Shraddha is required. And the 4th thing is, it is called Mumukshatvam. Mumukshatvam means, Mumuksha means, there is a root word called Much. Much means to become free. So Mumukshatvam means a longing to become free from the bondage of this sansar, or any bondage. I mean, I should be able to, I mean, that's why they say I'm on my own king, right? Atmanev Atmana Tushtha. There is a shlok, 55 shlok of 2nd chapter. Means I am satisfied within myself. I don't need any outside help to be happy. I'm happy. Actually, my nature is happy. That is, that ichha to know your own nature is mumukshatva. Moksha matlab kahin bahar nahi jana, but freedom from the bondage is mumukshatva. So Bhagwan says, the 18th chapter is moksha. So 17th, 18th chapter बाद में आएंगे, but they are together. So Abhyas Vairagya, Shraddha and Mumukshatvam. So Shraddha means, again, faith we translate, and Mumukshatvam means desire to know your own nature, or self-realization, we can say in simple terms, आजकल popular terms. So these 4 things are needed. But here Bhagwan is giving more emphasis on Vairagya. And so what is Vairagya? So to understand, and this is a very, very, I would say, important term, significant. If we can understand, that's what our teachers say, that if you can understand Vairagya, then it's easy to practice. The practice we can still do, but if we don't have Vairagya, then practice, we may fail. We may not. I mean, it's like the same. Everybody is digging 10 feet hole, but the water will not come, because it has to be 100 feet at one place, right? That kind of understanding. And Vairagya is a simple term. Suppose I go to mandir or I do dhyan, and there are distractions, or I lost something. So the sara khel jo hai raga dvesh ka hai. So this word is actually virag. V means negation, rag means attachment or engagement or conditioning, we say. So यहाँ पर द्वेष word use नहीं किया, but they go together. So it should be actually virag dvesh. It's like that, right? We should read like that. So the सारा goal जो है राग को हटाने का है. राग हटेगा तो द्वेष भी चला जाएगा. राग means attachment. I need this likes and dislikes, we call it. So we have to. So if the likes and dislikes are under control, then you are a vairagi. Vairagi के लिए कुछ करना कुछ नहीं है. Only thing you have to, like for example, if I go to doctor, typically कभी आपने किसी को देखा नहीं होगा, I am very healthy and I say, oh यार, I was just visiting a clinic. कोई healthy person will not say कि I just for the sake of, जैसे हम मंदिर गए थे आज बहुत अच्छा लग रहा है तो I went to मंदिर. I'm feeling too good. I'm going to emergency. St. Clair Hospital emergency, just 10 minutes walk. You won't go there. You'll go only when you're sick. And when we go there, we go why? Because we go to doctor, to hospital to get rid of the sickness. My nature is to be healthy. No doctor is giving an injection of healthiness. कोई बोलेगा नहीं कि I'll make you healthy. Doctor will say, I'll remove the sickness you have, and then you're healthy by nature. So राग अगर हट गया, तो by default we are वैरागी. It's that powerful. और कृष्ण कह रहे हैं, जो खुद वैरागी, he has everything, but he's still वैरागी. Because राग नहीं है कृष्ण. कृष्ण को किसी चीज से राग नहीं. And we know that भगवान कृष्ण, right from his childhood, he never stayed at one place. 5-7 साल के थे, he left मथुरा. Then वहां से कंस का खत्म किया, he went to द्वारका. And he left all. and वापस में महाभारत युद्ध हुआ, तो ऐसा नहीं कह रहा है कि हस्तिनापुर में I was part of this victory, so enjoy that. He went back to. So he never stayed at one place. No rag. But that doesn't mean, rag doesn't mean you don't like things. You still like things, you still enjoy, but there is no moh in that. That's what Bhagavad Gita is about. So Bhagavan says that is very important. If you have that understanding of temptation, control, then abhyas will work. Otherwise, practice will fail. वो अर्जुन का क्वेश्चन भी आएगा आगे. So that's why emphasis on vairagya. Sorry, Gita ki teaching is actually, so in simple terms, vairagya means the journey, instead of too much towards the world, the journey is towards myself, inner journey. Yeah, of course, we have to live in the world, but the journey is towards me. And then that's the reason we do dhyan and all those things. Yeah, so fourth is Abhyas Vairagya Shraddha Mumukshutvam. ये चार हैं. Then Bhagavan says, then practice works. They work in tandem. I mean, they are not independent things. They work in tandem, all four. So ऐसा कुछ अलग से नहीं कि मैं सिर्फ मुमुक्षुत्व में बैठा हूँ. But practice will help if you have Shraddha, Vairagya and Mumukshutvam. Then practice will make, because practice is the first thing. And that's the reason we do study. That's the reason we do. So practice पे तो बहुत सारा लिखा हुआ है. Like if we go to some management schools, management classes, वहाँ भी practice की बात करते हैं. So they say, and it's simple term, they say that if you want to practice, if you want to achieve something for a sports player, and all those, they say, limit the scope of your work. So if you want to play football, focus on football. Don't focus on golf now, because you want to be a good football player, right? So focus on that. Limit the scope of your whatever you want to do. And that's what they are saying, right? Limit the scope. Then other thing they say that, okay, commit time. Leverage the tools and material, whatever is available. Coaching, go for coaching. Create practice partnership. Have the group where you're practicing. See, if you put in Adhyatmic sense, same thing we are saying, take one book like Bhagavad Gita. Take one book. I take Hanuman Chalisa, and then you just read it, analyze it, and just assimilate it. That's it. You will get moksha by Hanuman Chalisa. You don't have to do anything. Or Bhagavad Gita, something like that. The limit, you don't do 10 things, then you won't achieve anything. Then they're saying material tools, yeah, read, go to the resource. There are people who can practice like in a group, satsang. That's what we are doing, Swadhyaya. So same thing applies to the practice, which applies to sports people, or applies to satsang also, or to spiritual life also. That's what Bhagavan is saying. So practice is very important, but certain things we have to do in practice. So we'll go to, because we can talk on Vairagya the whole night, right? It's such an interesting topic, but yeah, we'll have to move forward. So next shlok we'll see 36 shlok, right? So Bhagavan continues with, after saying Abhyas and Vairagya, he says, asanyam asanyatatmana yogo dushprap iti me matihi vashyatmana tu yatata shakyo avaptu upamayatah. So भगवान ने कहा, वही हिंदी में पढ़ता हूँ, मन को वश में न करने वाले पुरुष द्वारा योग दुष्प्राप्य है, और स्वाधीन मन वाले प्रयत्नशील पुरुष द्वारा साधन करने में योग सहज है. ये मेरा मत है.
Yoga, I think, is hard to attain by one who is uncontrolled, but it can be attained by one who is controlled by means of striving.
Yes. So it is it's an extension of the first shlok. But Bhagavan is saying that the one who has control over his mind or his temptation, it's easy. Yoga means Bhagavan is saying dhyan here. So dhyan can be done only by who has, and we all know that, right? अगर मैं ध्यान करने बैठा हूँ 50 चीज मेरे दिमाग में अगर हैं अभी, that was happened, right? If suppose in 10 minutes the final, some game, Euro final or IPL final or something is starting, and you tell someone to do dhyan, 5 मिनट में शुरू होने वाला है. Now I know that in 5 minutes we just cannot do dhyan. It's now we know the power of मन. That's what Arjun is saying. चंचल ही मन कृष्ण, कितना मुश्किल है. लाइक पांच पांच मिनट पर शुरू होने वाला है, so 5 मिनट में ध्यान खत्म हो जाएगा, 5 मिनट भी ध्यान नहीं हो. So that's what Bhagavan is saying, that and we have to practice that. And a lot of people have done that. I have done it, like, and I can share that personally, that we have to practice this in difficult situations. Then only it will be tested. सब कुछ शांत है, कुछ बढ़िया चल रहा है, कुछ नहीं है, तो ध्यान करने बैठे, it is good. There's nothing wrong in that. But challenge ourselves, right? In these situations, a difficult situation में, can I do dhyan? Can I do Sandhya Vandanam 3 times? Difficult? Yes. And that's what Bhagavan is saying. कि उसके लिए ध्यान possible. And that's a practice. That's what he's saying, practice. And we all know that because there are practice means there are neural pathways, right? Neural circuits are built. When we constantly do something, and then next time it becomes easy. That's why they say that when you, in cricket, it is said, I have played cricket, and typically if you hear from a junior player and say that, oh, you are playing with Kohli, he said, I was enjoying when I was Kohli on the opposite side, because there is an expert on the other side. He's guiding me. And Kohli has played so much of cricket that he knows exactly how to handle this situation. Because the neural pathways of by practicing, it's not just one day he has become, or any sport, he has become expert, he or she become over the years. So that's what I was saying. The practice is very important, because वो हमारे दिमाग में भी, I mean, we are talking about spiritual sadhana, not sports, but this example of a sport, right? Yeah, so let's go to the next shlok. So Bhagavan is saying, Bhagavan ने बोला करना है, तो अर्जुन फिर से, so that's the beauty of Bhagavad Gita. Bhagavan keeps telling, he keeps answering, and that's important. We need to have questions, right? And he's asking questions to teacher like Krishna, who इतने बड़े teacher हैं, फिर भी he's asking. That's good. We should have that. So that's what. So Arjuna again said, Arjuna Vacha 37 shlok. Ayati Shraddayopeto Yoga
यति श्रद्धयोपेतो
Yoga Chanchalat Manasah
योगा सच्चलत मानसः
Aprapya Yoga Samsiddhi
अप्राप्य योग संसिद्धि
Kagatim Krishna Gachati.
कागति कृष्ण गच्छति. अर्जुन बोले, हे कृष्ण, जो योग में श्रद्धा रखने वाला है किंतु संयमी नहीं है, इस कारण जिसका मन अंतकाल में योग से विचलित हो गया है, ऐसा साधक योग की सिद्धि को अर्थात भगवत साक्षात्कार को न प्राप्त होकर किस गति को प्राप्त होता है.
Arjun said, the uncontrolled who possesses Shraddha, that is faith, whose mind wanders away from yoga, failing to attain perfection in yoga, what end, O Krishna, does he meet?
Yeah, so he's asking that even if this person is constantly practicing, but some stage of his life, his or her life, there are some distractions. Maybe there are reasons we make mistakes. So what happens to this person? I mean, he or she has spent all life doing practices, but one stage of life we commit some other. It's possible, human being. So what happens to this person? All this sadhana is nullified by one mistake. That's what I do. And that's a very simple question, right? Anybody can think it. अरे मैंने इतना सब किया है, कुछ गड़बड़ हो गया, या एक बार, I mean, one time I got angry or I did something. Oh, is it my whole practice is gone? So he'll continue, right? The next shlok 38. Kanchino bhaya vibrashtah
कच्चिनो भय विभ्रष्टः
छिन्ना भ्रमि नश्यति
छिन्ना भ्रमविनश्यति
अप्रतिष्ठो महाबाहो
अपसृष्टो महाबाहो
विमूढ़ो ब्रह्मणः पथि.
विमूढ़ ब्रह्मण मत्पथि।
We'll read the next
हे
one.
महाबाहो,
No, we'll
क्या
read.
वह भगवत प्राप्ति के मार्ग में मोहित और आश्रय रहित पुरुष छिन्न भिन्न बादल की भांति दोनों ओर से भ्रष्ट होकर नष्ट नहीं हो जाता?
We'll read the next one also, Ramji. Etanme sanshayam Krishna
एतन में संशयम कृष्ण
chetum arhasya sheshatah
चेतुम बर्हस्य शेषतः
twadanyah संशयास्यस्य
त्वदन्य संशयाशस्य
चेता न उपपद्यते.
चेता न उपपद्यते। हे श्री कृष्ण, मेरे इस संशय को संपूर्ण रूप से छेदन करने के लिए आप ही योग्य हैं, क्योंकि आपके सिवा दूसरा इस संशय का छेदन करने वाला मिलना संभव नहीं है।
Fallen from both, does he not perish like a rent cloud, O Mabhav, supportless and deluded in the path of Brahman? This doubt of mine, O Krishna, you should dispel completely, for there is none other than you to dispel this doubt.
Right. So again, like it's going back to the same. Shishyaste ham shadi mam tam prapanna. I mean, I am your shishya. I'm confused. Same thing he's saying here, that I think that like is this person who has failed to complete the sadhana for reason, whatever reason. Does this person like scattered cloud? You know, scattered cloud when the wind comes, the cloud is all broken. So is this person going all his sadhana or his character is going to be scattered like a cloud? Khatam ho jayega sab kuch? I have a doubt. So you are the only one, Krishna. You can convince. You can answer this. I believe, and that is Shraddha. See, that's why I say the Shastra and Guru Vakyas. If we have Shraddha, then teaching in flow. Teaching won't flow if there is a doubt. So first, that's why they say that even in school, when we go to normal school, academic school, if I don't have Shraddha in teacher or the school system, or if I keep complaining, I'll never learn. So that's what Arjuna is saying. I believe that you are the one who can remove my doubt. Then Bhagwan answers, right? 40th Shlok. Shri Bhagwan Uvacha
श्री भगवान उवाच
Parth Naiveha Namutra
पार्थ नैवेह नामुत्र
Vinashastasya Vidyate
विनाश सत्य विद्यते
Nahi Kalyan Krat Kaschid
नहीं कल्याणकृत कश्चिद
Durgatim Tat Gachati.
दुर्गतिम तात गच्छति। श्री भगवान बोले, हे पार्थ, उस पुरुष का न तो इस लोक में नाश होता है और न परलोक में ही, क्योंकि हे प्यारे, आत्मोद्धार के लिए अर्थात भगवत प्राप्ति के लिए कर्म करने वाला कोई भी मनुष्य दुर्गति को प्राप्त नहीं होता।
Blessed Bhagwan said, O Partha, neither here nor even hereafter is there destruction for him. Verily, none who does good, O beloved, comes to grief.
Yeah, so Bhagwan is saying that, and this is true. This is the experience of our teachers also, that the sadhana is not gone waste. Even if some certain stage of life you are deviating or you fail to continue, but whatever you do, so Bhagwan says, suppose Arjuna says, suppose this person dies, what happens? We early age die or something happens to them. So Bhagwan says, no, it will continue. And here is a science here, right? I won't say, I mean, we have to use word science, but Vigyan actually. We have all our Eastern tradition, even now Western people, many philosophers, Abrahamic faith won't accept because they go by the book, and their book won't, whatever is said in the book 1,000-2,000 years ago, there's no question about ask about. But this Western scholars, philosophers, they agree to the Hindu faith, which is Eastern thought that our journey continues, Punarjanma. And the next germ I carry forward from the previous germ. And we call it Sukshma Sharir, or let's say Atma. That's why second chapter, the whole second chapter, 18 shlok from 12 to 30, Bhagavan talked about Atma. And he says that Atma doesn't die. And the body dies. But the next body, when you get, there is a Sukshma Sharir which has a sanskar or vasana from previous birth. And that is kind of, we can say, nature of Atma. So Bhagavan is saying that there is a storage which goes. So the teaching never goes. So इसके लिए हम लोगों को constantly, कई बार क्या होता है, like the people have, I'm good person, and we say that, oh, this is such a nice person, why God is doing, or भगवान है उसके साथ ऐसा खराब क्यों कर रहे हैं, या उसका भाग्य ऐसा खराब क्यों है? It is a law of karma. So we should not stop practicing just because something happened to me or something somebody did, because this is not one birth, it is many births. So let's continue to practice, because Bhagavan says practice doesn't go in vain. It's like it's a rollover. If you change job, your 401k will go to the next company. Your 401k will go to your children, and so it is rollover. So this is kind of rollover thing. So Bhagavan says that. So next slok he says what happens to this person. Prapta punya kritam lokan
प्राप्त पुण्य कृताम लोका
ushvita shashvati sama
अश्वता शाश्वती समाः
शुचीनाम श्रीमताम गेहे
शुचीनां श्रीमतां गेहे
योग भ्रष्टो अभिजायते.
योग भ्रष्टो अभिजायते। योग भ्रष्ट पुरुष पुण्यवानों के लोकों को अर्थात स्वर्ग आदि उत्तम लोकों को प्राप्त होकर उनमें बहुत वर्षों तक निवास करके फिर शुद्ध आचरण वाले श्रीमान पुरुषों के घर में जन्म लेता है।
Having attained to the worlds of the righteous and having dwelt there for eternal years, he who has fallen from yoga is born in the home of the pure and wealthy.
Yeah. So जो बीच में जो लोकान, that was the teaching that time. पुराणों में लिखा है कि हमारे यहाँ कि if you die you will go to the स्वर्ग लोक and then you come back when you're all punya. So that's why Bhagavan has mentioned. But हमारे लिए for now the teaching is that you will be born in an environment which is conducive to your teaching to be continued. Because of that, because you have that sanskar or whatever from subtle body, that punarjanma. So, and that's what happens. Like you are born in a family which you continue. And I just very quick example and my personal example, and we'll stop here. We'll continue next week, the remaining part. So my brother and I we were very young, like in high school days. We used to go to mandir because our Nanaji was a sannyasi. He used to come to our house, as I mentioned. He used to take us to the mandir. Arey subah subah, like, why are you sleeping? Let's go. And we got excited कि चलो सुबह जाते हैं, खेलेंगे, कुछ कहानी सुनाते थे वो. He used to take us. So summer time, and we were in high school, both of us. And then he came. It was just, I still remember that I was like 13, 14. My brother was 2 years older than me. And then he left after a few days. But he connected us to the Panditji of Mandir, and he started liking us. And he said, come here, सुबह आरती होती है, कोई लड्डू मिलेगा, तो we used to give us laddu, and we used to enjoy that. यार मिठाई उठाई मिलती है मस्त, वो पंडित जी आगे की लाइन में खड़ा करते हैं, घंटी बजाना है वो. And we started going there. So one time there was a pravachan going on. Some Ramji Maharaj was there, and he saw us, both the brothers, coming and listening to pravachan. And he says, "इधर आओ, आपका घर कहाँ है?" We said, हमारा घर तो थोड़ा दूर है. तो बोले, चलो चलता हूँ मैं आपके. And he was a sannyasi. He was a very well-known sannyasi, and लोग उनसे मिलने आते थे. And he said, I want to come to your house. पता नहीं क्यों आ रहे हैं. हम लोग डर गए, चलो लेके आ गए. I still remember my parents got, ये किसको लेके आ गए तुम लोग? ये सन्यासी. तो वो बोले कि मैं इसलिए आपके घर आया था, मैं देखना चाहता था कि इस लंका में विभीषण का घर कौन सा है, वो हमारे घर देखने आना चाहिए. So, and he changed our lives, like whole spiritual journey. Still my brother and we talk about Ramji Maharaj, and after that my brother तो आजकल काफी भारत में घूमते हैं. He tried to figure out Ramji Maharaj. He never found Ramji Maharaj. He met all the sadhu sannyasis, but he initiated, our Swamiji initiated that. But and then we continue to read Ramayana, उसी समय से गीता पढ़ना शुरू किया, गायत्री जप. So conducive environment. We were born in that family where our parents were like that, our Nanaji was. That's what Bhagavan is saying. So don't leave that. Even if you miss something, continue, because you will next birth, its journey continues. Anyway, so that's what Bhagavan is saying. See, Srimatam Gehe Yogo Vijayate. You will be born in a home where you will find the conducive environment to continue your journey or the sadhana. So we'll stop here and take that question which is related to this side. So, but yeah, we will again, this is all about the practice. So there is a story goes before we stop. There are one person, two friends. When they become old, so the one of the friend becomes sannyasi or swami, and the other friend become a businessman, and he was owning a big soap manufacturing company. And this sannyasi is just so one day they were walking, and this friend who was a businessman, he said, you are religious people, you go around and teach things and Bhagavad Gita, kuch nahi badalta hai. The whole world is nothing is changing. Look at suffering and corruption and all this. So religion, what is the use of this religion? गीता ये पढ़ाते हैं तो क्या होने वाला है इससे? He said, okay, ठीक है, कुछ बोले नहीं वो. थोड़ी देर आगे गए तो there was some kids were playing, and the kids were very dirty, and they may not have taken bath for a long time because of whatever situation they were in, and that kid had a lot of dirt on their skin. So he said to his friend, you are a soap manufacturing company, you make such a wonderful luxury soap, look at the dirty kids here. Your soap can't do anything, right? They're so dirty. And he said, what are you talking, you're a swami? I mean, they have to use soap to become clean. He said the same thing applies to the teaching also, religious. You have to use the religious teaching to become pure, right? So same thing, practice का मतलब सिर्फ पढ़ना नहीं है, practice करना भी है. So unless I use that religious teaching, spiritual teaching in my life, then only the purification will come. Like soap, if you use, then you will be purified. So that's the importance of practice and practice. Bhagwan is talking again. So we'll